श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगकंदार विकगिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोरक्षर बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुगौर्य गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारदा गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जाय। श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जाय। द Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada की जाय। जय श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जाय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat pranams, Ndri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji and Kishore Krishna Prabhu and Siddhartha Sen. Hare Krishna. All right, let's open up the Mangala Charan. Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanaikapitaro kamalaya-taksho vishvambharo dvijavaro yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Oops. Jai 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 Vishvambhara Dvijaraj Jaya Vishvambhara Priya Vaishnava Samaj Gaura Chandra Jai Dharma Setu Mahadhir Jaya Sankirtana Moy Sundara Sharir Jaya Nityanandir Bandhava Dhana Pran Jaya Gadādhara Advaiter Prema Dham Jaya Shri Jagarananda Priya Atishay Jaya Vakreshwar Kashishwarer Hriday Jai Jai Śrīvāsadi Priya Varganath Jiva Prati Koro Prabhu Shubha Drishtipat Madhya-khaṇḍa katha jena amriter khanda, je katha shunile ghuche antar pāṣaṇḍa. Madhya-khaṇḍa katha bhai shuno ekachitte, sankirtana aramba hoilo jeno mate. O dear brothers, please hear attentively the topics of Madhya-khaṇḍa, wherein the inauguration of the Sankirtan pastimes is described. Tavaivasmi, tavaivasmi, na jivami tvaya vina, iti vigyaya devi tvam, nayamang charanantikam, bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai, kshiptashtakama ditaranga madhe, kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna, vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadādhara Śrīvāsa Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so now the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. Ore muro loko shuno Caitanya mangal, Caitanya mahima jate jani veshakal, Krishna lila bhagavate kohe Vyas, Caitanya lila Vyas Vrindavana das, Vrindavana dasa koilo Caitanya mangal, Jahara shravane nashe sarvaya mangal, Caitanya nitar jate janiye mahima, jate jani Krishna bhakti siddhanter sima, Bhagavate jata bhakti siddhanter sar, likhiya chen iha jani koriya udhar, Caitanya mangala shune jadi pāṣaṇḍī javan, sheho maha vaishnava hoy tatakhan, Manushe rachite nare aiche granta dhanya, Vrindavana dasa mukhe bhakta Śrī Caitanya, Vrindavana dasa pore koti namaskar, aiche granta korite ho tarila sansar, Narayani Caitanyer uchishta bhajan, Tar garbe janmila Śrī dasa Vrindavan, तार की अद्भुत चैतन्य चरिता वर्णन, जहाँ श्रवणे शुद्ध कोइलो त्रिभुवन, सहजे विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार, वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृतेर धार, वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृतेर धार. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, the Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, Haribol Champak Mataji. And let's see who is there. Oh, that's so strange. There isn't a single person watching on YouTube or Facebook. Huh. I wonder, well, one person came for a second and then they disappeared. Anyhow, okay. I'm just curious if it's running there. It seems like it's okay. Let me just, actually I can see like this. Oh, Roop Manjari is there. Cool. Great. All right, so it is working. One second. Okay, so here, let's read the Kathasar, the summary written by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. Chapter 2, the Lord's manifestation at the house of Śrīvās, that's what we'll be reading about today, and the inauguration of Sankirtan. Okay, so the topic that was written for this chapter was the last part, what we're reading today. This chapter contains the following descriptions. Oh, and let's see. Oh, Nitai, also I forgot. Nitai, Hariwo, Nitai. Okay, so this chapter contains the following descriptions. The devotees informed Advaita of the Lord's love for Kṛṣṇa, and Advaita was delighted on hearing the same. Advaita then told all the devotees about his dream, and the devotees happily chanted the names of Kṛṣṇa. Whenever the Lord saw Śrīvās and the other devotees, he offered them obeisances, and the devotees in turn blessed him. The Lord accepted their good wishes and exhibited in various ways the ideal example of service to the Vaishnavas. The devotees offered him their blessings and became hopeful of his advancement in Krishna consciousness. After hearing the devotees express grief caused by the misbehavior of the Vaishnava haters and the slandering atheists residing in Navadvip, the Lord gave them his assurance and became filled with anger against the pāṣaṇḍīs. Presuming that the Lord was afflicted with a nervous malady, with Vayu Rog, with a Vata dosh, ignorant persons requested Mother Shachi to arrange for his medical treatment. One day, Śrīvās went to the Lord's house and beheld on the Lord's person prevalent signs of the highest devotion, and the Lord embraced Śrīvās on hearing his declaration to that effect. On hearing Śrīvās describe her son's love for Kṛṣṇa, Mother Shachi gave up her suspicion that her son was suffering from a nervous malady. One day, the Lord visited the home of Advaita in the company of Gadādhara. Although Advaita was fully absorbed in the ecstasy of worshipping Kṛṣṇa, he immediately offered the Lord prayers and worshipped the Lord's lotus feet. Gadādhara, who enjoyed the Lord's confidence, checked the same and expressed his surprise. When the Lord regained his external consciousness and saw Advaita offering him prayers, he externally concealed his identity as he internally revealed himself to Advaita. This is what we read about yesterday. Thereafter, Advaita went to Shantipur to test the magnanimous nature of the Lord's appearance. The Lord daily engaged in glorifying Kṛṣṇa in the company of the devotees and became overwhelmed with love and separation. The Lord described to his intimate devotees his vision in the neighborhood of Kanai Natshala during his return from Gaya, when he saw Kṛṣṇa as a dawning youth with the blackish complexion of the tamal tree and the hue of fresh clouds. And he swooned with ecstasy during the recital. The devotees praised the Lord with great joy when he regained his external consciousness. Even after returning home, the Lord constantly manifested a state of overpowering bliss and the tendency to inquire from all persons about Kṛṣṇa. Okay, and I think today we're going to be reading, we're reading about these topics from this point on, right? And yeah, I think so. Okay, so one day, on hearing from Gadādhara that Kṛṣṇa dwelt in his heart, the Lord attempted to tear open his heart with his fingernails, and he could be induced to be patient only by Gadādhara's persuasions, for which Śacīdevī, who is most devotedly attached to her son, warmly praised Gadādhara's tact. Śacīdevī manifested reverential fear for her son, rather than motherly affection. In the company of his devotees and in his own house, the Lord listens in the evenings to the kirtan performance of Mukunda. Thus the performance of all-night kirtan was begun. The pāṣaṇḍīs were angered by such interruption to their pleasure of sleep. They were filled with anger, especially against Śrīvās, which led them to spread false rumors of the king's displeasure with Śrīvās. The omniscient Lord, who was affectionate to his devotees, appeared in his four-armed divine form before Śrīvās, while the latter was engaged in his house in worshipping Śrī Nṛsiṁhadeva. And the Lord encouraged him by his words of mercy. Śrīvās then realized that the Lord was Kṛṣṇa himself, and Śrīvās began to glorify him. So we're going to read up to that point. And then tomorrow we're just going to finish up the rest of the chapter. It's not that much left. Anyways, I think we'll read the rest of the summary tomorrow. On hearing the prayers of Śrīvās, the Lord manifested his own form and commanded Śrīvās and his wife to worship him. Śrīvās and all his family members then worshipped the Lord and expressed their humility, and the Lord removed Śrīvāsa's fears with words of assurance. Yeah, so we'll read all about that tomorrow. Oh, and Hari Bol Shubhananda Prabhu. And Raseshwari Mataji, Hari Bol. And I see there are a few other devotees now. Pranams, everybody. All right, let's see. What did we read yesterday? What verses? We read from 104 to 196. Okay, so we still have a good amount of time before it's 7:30, so I think we can read from that point. 104. Okay, so yesterday we heard, when Mahaprabhu was exhibiting all these ecstatic symptoms, people told Śacīdevī that he was suffering from insanity. And they took Mother Śacī to the side and tried to pacify her, saying, "It is some previous derangement that has reappeared." Someone said, "Oh Thakurani, you are so ignorant. Why do you want to ask further about his condition? Obviously he's mad. Some previous madness has again reappeared in his body. Tie his 2 legs and keep him inside the house. Give him green coconut water to drink until his madness is cured." Someone else said, What can such weak medicine do? Only green coconut water? No, his disease will be cured only if you smear some medicated ghee on him. Apply medicated oil on his head and then bathe him. Continue in this way until the disease subsides. The most magnanimous Śacī is the mother of the universe. She would carefully follow everyone's advice. Mother Śacī was overwhelmed with anxiety and did not know what to do, so she took shelter of Govinda with her body, speech, and mind. She then sent a messenger to the houses of all the Vaishnavas headed by Śrīvās to inform them of the situation. One day, Śrīvās Pandit went there, and the Lord immediately got up and offered him obeisances. On seeing a devotee, the Lord's devotional sentiments increased. His hairs stood on end. He shed tears. He shivered, and his attachment for the Lord was enhanced. One second, I'm going to just put something on the grounds because it's cold. Okay, so his hair stood on end, he shed tears, he shivered, and his attachment for the Lord was enhanced. At that time, the Lord was circumambulating Tulsi, but on seeing a devotee, he immediately fell unconscious. After a while, the Lord regained external consciousness and began to cry. He shivered so intensely that he was unable to remain still. When Śrīvās Pandit saw this wonderful sight, he thought, "Who calls this madness? This is the highest state of devotion, Mahabhakti Yoga." On regaining his external consciousness, the Lord asked Śrīvās Pandit, "What do you think of my behavior?" "Someone suggested that I should be bound up because of my insanity. O Pandit, what do you feel about me?" Śrīvās Pandit smiled and said, Your madness is good. I also want the same kind of madness that you have. I see the highest devotional symptoms in your body, Mahabhakti Yoga. Lord Krishna has bestowed his mercy on you. When the Lord heard this from Śrīvās, he embraced him in great happiness. Everyone concluded I was afflicted with madness, but you alone have concluded otherwise. Therefore today I am greatly obliged to you. If you had also concluded that I was insane, then I would have drowned myself in the Ganga today. Śrīvās Pandit said, the symptoms of devotional service that you display are desired by personalities such as Brahma, Shiva, and Sanak. We will gather together and chant the names of Krishna. Let the sinful atheists say whatever they want. Śrīvās then said to Shacī, give up all your anxieties. One second. Oops. Dang it, I lost the spot. Give up all your... Okay, there. Give up all your anxieties. I tell you, this is not insanity. It is devotion to Krishna. No one else can understand this fact. If you wish to see many more of Krishna's mysteries, then do not tell ordinary people about this. Oops. I'm trying to make it so I could just click next. Okay. After speaking in this way, Śrīvās Pandit returned home, and Shacī was relieved. She was relieved of thoughts that her son was affected by madness. Mother Shacī, however, continued to feel anxiety out of fear that her son would leave home. In this way, Lord Vishwambar resided in Navadvip. Who can know him unless he reveals himself? Ke tane janite pare, jadi na janai. One day the Lord happily went with Gadādhara to see Advaita. When they arrived, the two Prabhus saw Advaita Acharya sitting and worshipping the Lord with Ganga water and tulsi leaves. Can I bring the mic closer to my mouth? Is the volume okay now? Haribo, haribo, haribo.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
All right. So when they arrived, the two Prabhus saw Advaita Acharya sitting and worshipping the Lord with Ganga water and tulsi leaves. Advaita raised his two arms and loudly chanted, Hari, Hari. He completely forgot himself as he laughed one moment and cried the next. Okay, so it doesn't really clearly say, he just, Gadādhara and Mahaprabhu, they arrived, and then all of a sudden he started crying out, Hari, Hari. So I guess internally he realized at that moment, right? Advaita raised his two arms and loudly chanted, Hari, Hari. He completely forgot himself as he laughed one moment and cried the next. He roared like an intoxicated lion. His wrath was so intense, it appeared that the great Rudra had advented. As soon as Lord Vishwambar saw Advaita, he fell unconscious to the ground. By dint of his devotion, the mighty Advaita could recognize, here is the Lord of my life. He thought, oh, my thief, where will you go today? You have been wandering about all these days, hiding just like a thief. Your thievery will not work with Advaita. Your thievery will not work with Advaita. Rather, I will steal from this thief right now. Understanding that it was the proper opportunity for stealing, Advaita came down from his seat with articles for worship. Yeah, it's perfect opportunity because Mahaprabhu was unconscious, couldn't do anything. He was Thereafter, Advaita Acharya began to worship the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya by offering padya, arghya, achmaniya, sandalwood paste, flowers, incense, and lamp. He then offered his obeisances while reciting the following verse. Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. This is from the Vishnu Puran. Prahlad Maharaj says, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Krishna, who is the worshipable deity for all Brahminical men, who is the well-wisher of cows and brahmanas, and who is always benefiting the whole world. I offer my repeated obeisances to the personality of Godhead known as Krishna and Govinda." Advaita fell at the Lord's feet as he repeatedly recited this verse. Recognizing his Lord, he cried profusely. He washed the Lord's 2 lotus feet with his tears and stood by the Lord's feet with folded hands. Gadādhara smiled. And he bit his tongue in surprise. He said, "Oh, Goshai, it is not proper to behave like this towards a boy." On hearing Gadādhara's words, Advaita smiled and said, "Gadādhara, you will recognize who this boy is someday." Gadādhara was struck with wonder and thought, perhaps the Supreme Lord has appeared. After a while, Vishvambara regained his external consciousness and saw that Advaita Acharya was absorbed in ecstasy. Lord Vishvambara then tried to hide himself by offering prayers to Advaita with folded hands. The Lord offered his obeisances to Advaita and took the dust from Advaita's lotus feet. Then he surrendered his body to Advaita. He said, "O Mahashai, please be merciful to me. Know for certain that I belong to you. My life has become successful by seeing you. Only by your mercy will I be able to chant the name of Krishna. You alone are capable of destroying my material bondage, for Krishna is always manifest in your heart." The Lord knows well how to increase the glories of his devotees. He treats his devotees as they treat him. Advaita thought, "You think you are very clever, but I have stolen from the thief." Thereafter, Advaita Prabhu smiled and said, "O Vishvambara, to me you are greater than all. I wish to live here and discuss topics of Krishna with you so that I can constantly see you. It is a desire of all Vaishnavas to see you and chant the holy names of Krishna with you." The Lord happily accepted Advaita's words and then returned home. Advaita knew that the Lord had revealed himself, yet to test him, he went to Shantipur. If he is actually the Lord and I am actually his servant, then he will bind me and bring me to his side. Who has the ability to understand the heart of Advaita, by whose influence Lord Chaitanya incarnated? Know for certain that one who does not have faith in these topics will soon fall down. In this way, Mahaprabhu Vishvambara daily engaged in congregational chanting of the holy names in the company of the Vaishnavas. Everyone was greatly pleased to see Vishvambara, but they could not recognize him as their worshipable Lord. His state of supreme spiritual absorption distinguished him from others, and on seeing this, everyone became suspicious. Who can describe the Lord's blissful absorption other than Lord Shesh? When his body began to shiver, even 100 people were not able to hold him steady. And when tears flowed from his eyes, it appeared as if hundreds of rivers were flowing. When the hairs of his body stood on end, his body looked like a golden jackfruit. Again and again, he would laugh loudly with great jubilation. Sometimes in ecstasy, he lost consciousness for 3 hours, and on regaining consciousness, he would not speak about anything other than Krishna. The ears of people were pierced by his loud roar, but by his grace, the devotees were delivered. Sometimes his entire body assumed the stationary form of a pillar, and sometimes the same body became as soft as butter. When the devotees saw these wonderful signs, they no longer considered him an ordinary human being. Someone said, "This person is a partial incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He's an Angsha avatar." Someone else said, "Lord Krishna sports in his body." Someone said, "He may be Shukadeva Goswami, Prahlad, or Narad." Another said, "It appears that all our troubles will be vanquished." All the wives, Jatasab, all the wives of all the devotees, they said, "It appears that Krishna has personally appeared." And yesterday Kishore made the point that it's just like the Yagya Brahmani, what is it? The Brahmanis of Mathura, the wives of the Mathura Brahmanas, they were able to recognize Krishna. So, someone said, "Perhaps he is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord." In this way, they all considered the Lord in their own way. I am unable to describe how the Lord held the devotees by the neck and began to cry when he regained external consciousness. Then there's this verse, I don't know where it's from, but a Sanskrit verse. It says, "O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Friend of the helpless, you are the only ocean of mercy. Because I have not met you, my inauspicious days and nights have become unbearable. I do not know how I shall pass the time." One second. "Where will I find Krishna who plays on his flute?" Speaking in this way, he sighed deeply and wept. When he became calm, the Lord said to his intimate devotees, "Now I will relate topics of my distress to you." The Lord said, "There is no end to my distress, because after achieving Kanai, the Lord of my life, I then lost him." Everyone was satisfied to hear the Lord's confidential talks, so they all respectfully sat around him. While returning from Gaya, I came to the village named, so Mahaprabhu was telling them, when returning from Gaya, I came to the village named Kanai Natshala. I saw a beautiful boy, blackish like a tamal tree. His enchanting curly hair was decorated with fresh gunja. His head was decorated with a colorful peacock feather, and the jewels on his body were so bright that I could not see him properly. He held an enchanting flute in his hands, and his lotus feet were adorned with attractive ankle bells. His arms were decorated with jeweled ornaments, and his arms defeated the beauty of blue columns. His chest was adorned with the mark of Śrīvāsa, the Kaustuba gem, and jeweled necklaces. How can I describe the manner in which he wore his yellow garments? His shark-shaped earrings increased the beauty of his lotus eyes. Oh, my brother's calling me. I should. One second. Hey, brother, I'm just in the middle of doing an online reading right now, but you want to talk afterwards? Oh, never mind. I think it sounds like the phone is in his pocket. Okay. How can I describe the manner in which he wore his yellow garments? His shark-shaped earrings increased the beauty of his lotus eyes. He smiled as he approached me, and after embracing me, he ran away. Who can understand the mood in which Gaurasundar speaks, except one who is favored by him? While speaking in this way, Vishwambar lost consciousness and fell to the ground, exclaiming, "Oh, Krishna!" The devotees quickly picked him up as they all chanted, "Krishna, Krishna!" They pacified him and brushed the dust from his body. Oh wait, I think we read up to this point yesterday, right? Yeah, 186. Okay. Hari Bol Sudevi Didi. Okay, so let's read from this point on. Sorry about that. Kirupe kohen katashi gora sundare Tana kripa bina taha ke bhujite pare. Who can understand the mood in which Gaurasundar speaks, except one who is favored by him? The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. No one is capable of understanding the mood, the state of mind, or the purpose for which the Lord speaks such uncommon words. Those who falsely claim to have achieved love of God and artificially try to imitate Gaurasundar's love of God, they are swiftly rushing towards hell without impediment. When the Prakrit Sahajas endeavor to ruin themselves both by accumulating gold, women, and fame for the evil purpose of deceiving themselves and others, and by giving up the service of Hari without understanding the characteristics of Gaur, who is the personification of transcendental Vipralambha. In other words, when they accept the abominable feat of the Anyabhilashis, Karmis, and Gyanis, who are devoid of devotional service to Krishna and who are engaged in material sense gratification, as the lotus feet of the spiritual master, then it is to be understood that they have not received any mercy from Śrī Gaurasundar. Rather, they invite grave inauspiciousness as the result of their own offenses in trying to enjoy Gaur. Wow, this is all one sentence. Okay. Kohite kohite murcha gela Vishwambar, podila ha Krishna boli prithvi upar. While speaking in this way, Vishwambar lost consciousness and fell to the ground, exclaiming, "O Krishna! Ate byate dhore shab, Krishna Krishna boli, stir kori jhadilen Shri Anger dhuli." The devotees quickly picked him up as they all chanted, "Krishna, Krishna." They pacified him and brushed the dust from his body. Stir hoya o Prabhu, stir nahi hoy, kotha Krishna boliya kandai. Although the Lord was pacified, he could not remain quiet. He continuously cried, saying, "Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna?" Kshanike hoila stir Shri Gaur Sundar, swabhave hoila ati namra kalevar. After a while, Shri Gaurasundar became calm and exhibited extreme natural humility. Parama santosha chitta hoilo sabar, shuniya Prabhur bhakti kathar prachar. Everyone present became greatly satisfied on hearing the Lord's explanation of his devotional sentiments. Shabe bole amra sabar boro punya, tumi heno shange sabe hoilaya dhanya. They said, "We are indeed blessed because you have made us most fortunate with your association. Tumi shange jar tar vaikunte ki kore, tileke tomar shange bhakti phal dhare." For one who associates with you, what is the value of Vaikunta? A single moment with you yields the fruit of devotion. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Vaikunte refers to the spiritual sky, which is saturated with opulence. The phrase tar Vaikunte ki kore indicates that for the person described in the first half of the verse, even Vaikunta, which is full of opulence, is disagreeable or of less importance. The word tileke means for a fraction of a moment. Another reading of tileke is tilardha, which means the same. Anupalya tomar amra sarvajan, sabar nayaka hoy koroho kirtan. We are all dependent on you. May you lead us in kirtan. Paṣaṇḍīr bāke dagdha sharir shakal, tomar e prem jale koroho shital. Our bodies are burning from the fiery words of the atheists. Please relieve us with the cool waters of your love. Santoshe sabar prati koriya ashvas, cholilen matta singha prai nijavas. Thereafter, the Lord happily solaced everyone and returned to his house like a maddened lion. Grihe aile o nahi vyabhar prastav, nirantar ananda avesha avirbhav. Although he returned home, he did not enjoy household pleasures. Rather, he constantly enjoyed transcendental bliss. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Vyabhar Prastav refers to the worldly dealings of Grihamedis and Grihastas. Although Sriman Mahaprabhu, who is the personification of Vipralamba and who is intoxicated with feelings of separation from Krishna, although he returned to his house, he did not welcome in the course of his family affairs any type of activities that were not related to Krishna or that were full of material enjoyment. It appeared that love due to separation from Krishna personally manifested and constantly remained in the house of Gauranga. The conjugal pastimes not based on scriptures but opposed to their conclusions that are concocted or composed in the fertile brains of illicit attached householders are newly arisen Gaur Nagaris. So all those conjugal pastimes that they imagine between Shri Gaurasundar and Mahalakshmi, Shri Vishnupriya, who is the personification of loving devotion, who is predominantly in Aishvarya Ras, and who is the married consort of the Lord. So their imaginations of the conjugal pastimes between Gaurasundar and Vishnupriya are clearly and vehemently refuted in this verse by Thakur Srimad Vrindavan Das, who is the incarnation of Śrīvās. Let's just reread the verse. Although he returned home, he did not enjoy household pleasures. Rather, he constantly enjoyed transcendental bliss.
This might be the answer to my question yesterday.
Yes.
What do you think?
Oh, yeah, very good point.
Because, I mean, he's got Lakshmi at home. That's the highest pleasure. He's married to her. But it's not, that's insignificant to him. Or would he care for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's a very important point. Yeah. Kotoba ananda dhara vahe Shri Nayane charaner ganga kiba aila badane. The tears of love that flowed from his eyes were such that it appeared that the Ganga, which flows from his feet, was now flowing from his eyes. The Ganga which flows from his feet is now flowing from his eyes. Gaudiya Bhashya. The ornamental language known as utpreksha, or figurative speech, used by the author in this verse is clear evidence of his incomparable poetic genius. In this verse, the tears of love that flowed from the Lord's eyes are compared to the flow of the Ganga, which emanates from his lotus feet. By seeing the tears of love flowing from the eyes of the Lord, one spontaneously thinks that the waters of the Ganga are actually flowing. This is the ornamental language known as figurative speech. Utpreksha. Kotha Krishna matra Prabhu bole, aar keha katha nahi pai jigyasile. The only words the Lord spoke were, Kotha Krishna, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Even on inquiry, there is no other reply. Gaudiya Bhashya. The second line of the verse is explained as follows. If one inquired about anything other than Krishna from the Lord, who was overwhelmed with feelings of separation from Krishna, then the inquirer would not receive any response other than topics of Krishna. Jai Vaishnave Thakura dekhen vidyamane, tahare jigyasen Krishna kon khane. When the Lord saw any devotee, he asked, where is Krishna? Gaudiya Bhashya. See previous verse 175. Bolia Krandan Prabhu Kore Atishai. Je jane je mato she mata prabodhai. After speaking in this way, the Lord would cry profusely, and various persons would solace him according to their ability. Ekadina tambu loya Gadādhara, harishe hoila asi prabhur gochar. One day, Gadādhara happily came before the Lord with some betel nuts in his hand. Gadādhare deki prabhu koren jigyasa, kotha Kṛṣṇa achen shamal pita vasa. Haribo Vidyalala Sadidi. On seeing Gadādhara, the Lord asked, "Where is that blackish Kṛṣṇa who is dressed in yellow cloth?" She arti dekhite sarva hridaya bidare, ki bolo boli beheno bachana naspure. All the devotees there felt as if their hearts were pierced on seeing the Lord's intense longing. Everyone was perplexed about how to reply. Gaudiya Bhashya. The second line is explained as follows. Since the assembled devotees were unable to find suitable words to solace the Lord, who was afflicted with feelings of separation from Kṛṣṇa, they became speechless. Sambhrame bolen Gadādhara Mahashai, Niravadi thake Kṛṣṇa tomar hriday. Gadādhara anxiously replied, "Kṛṣṇa always resides within your heart." Okay, so Gadādhara said, "Kṛṣṇa always resides within your heart." Gaudiya Bhashya. In this case, the word sambhrama means anxious out of fear, or it means respect. Anxious out of fear or respect. Hridaye achen Kṛṣṇa vachana shuniya, apana hriday prabhu chire nakhadiya. As soon as the Lord heard the words, "Kṛṣṇa is in your heart," hridaya achen Kṛṣṇa, then he began to scratch his chest with his fingernails. Ate byate Gadādhara dui hate dhori, nanamate prabodhi rakhila sthir kori. Gadādhara quickly caught the Lord's hands and pacified him with various words of solace. "Ei asi ben Kṛṣṇa sthir ho mane, Gadādhar bole ai, dekhen apane." Gadādhara said, Be patient. Kṛṣṇa will come now. Sthir ho mane. Ei asi ben Kṛṣṇa. He's coming just now. And so Gadādhara said this as Mother Śacī looked on. Boro tushta hoila ai, Gadādhar prati, e mata shishur buddhi, nahi dekhi koti. Mother Śacī became very pleased with Gadādhara, and she thought, "I haven't seen such an intelligent boy before. Mui bhoye nahi pari sammukha hoite, shishu hoy kemone prabodhilo phalo mate." Out of fear, I cannot stand before him. Yet how nicely this boy has consoled him. And haven't
Interesting. Ras, because
Yes.
Hachimata is Vatsala Ras, so it's like she can tie them and untie them, but who else will pacify him but Rati? It's Gadādhara.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, like, isn't it? Have you ever heard that Mother Yashoda has either the
No.
same or more affection for Srimati Radhika than she has for Kṛṣṇa, or something like that?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. We were reading. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. It was about the morning pastimes when Radha goes to cook for Kṛṣṇa, And so yeah, Mother Jashoda loves Radhe so much. She said, "This is your house. This is your house. You can have my house, myself. I'm my son." She gives him to Radhe.
Yes.
But Trini, do you remember when we read this about Mother Jashoda loving Radharani more than Krishna? We were reading about how she offered him
Might have been in the Bhavanara Sangha.
Avanari Sangha.
But it could have been.
By whom though?
It's,
I'll find it. Sorry to interrupt you, but
No problem, no problem. But yeah, now the mother that Yashoda has for Srimati Radhika, now that's coming across in Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Shachi Mata's love for Gadādhara.
There's one pastime in Mother Yashoda. She's preparing everything in a box, and Krishna's there, and Krishna's asking her, "Mother, what are you doing?" I'm preparing these things, but Mother, what are you doing? Like, and Krishna keeps insisting, and Mother Yashoda says, "Listen, my boy, you are very dear to me. You're like the treasure of my life. But I have another great treasure who I consider very dear to me, and that is the daughter of Vrishabhanu, Srimati Radhika." And then Krishna got ecstatic symptoms, but he kind of had to shut them down because he was in front of his mother.
yeah, that's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, isn't it? There's some
Chamatkar Chandrika, yeah.
That's like, oh,
beautiful.
That's beautiful. So you can see how Srimad Bhagavatam ties to his Vrindavan Das Thakur. It's like the old tie. It's our present Srimad Bhagavatam. Wow. We're pretty lucky, guys and girls.
Oh my God. Unimaginable, yes. Okay. I bole bap tumi sarvada thakiba chariya uhar sanga kotha na jaiba. Mother Shachi said, "My dear boy, always remain with him. Do not leave him and go anywhere else." Adbhuta Prabhur prema yoga dekhi ai putra heno gyan ar mane kichu nai. On seeing the Lord's wonderful ecstatic love, Mother Shachi no longer considered him her son. Gaudiya Bhashya. In this case, Mother Shachi manifested Vatsalya Ras mixed with opulence, as found in Devaki. Mane bhabe ai e purusha nara nahe manusher nayane ki etad dhara bahe. She thought, this personality is not an ordinary human being. Can tears flow like that from the eyes of an ordinary human being? Gaudiya Bhashya. The word nara means mortal, human being, or man. The phrase E Purusha Nara Nahe means this Vishvambar is certainly some uncommon, extraordinary personality. Nahi jani ashiyache kon mahashai bhai ai prabhur sammukha nahi hoy. I do not know what great personality has appeared in my family. Frightened in this way, Mother Shachi did not come before the Lord. Sarva bhakta gan sandhya shamay hoile asiya prabhur grihe alpe alpe mile. In the evening, all the devotees gradually assembled at the Lord's house. That's the thing in Mahaprabhu's pastimes, everybody is dasyaras. That's the prominent thing in Mahaprabhu's. Gauranga Nagaris, they don't accept that, but it's especially explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita in the chapter about Advaita Acharya, how, Bhakti yoga sahita je sab shloka hoy, porite lagila Śrī Mukunda Mahashai. At that time, Śrī Mukunda began to recite various verses glorifying devotional service. Punyavanta Mukunder heno devya dhvani shunile abhishta hoyen dvijamani. The most fortunate Mukunda had such a divine voice that as soon as the crest jewel of Brahmans heard him, he became absorbed in trance. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word dhvani means melodious or sweet voice. Hari bolo boli prabhu lagila garjite chatur dike pode ke ho na pare dhorite. The Lord began to loudly cry out, Hari bol! And he fell on the ground. He fell on the ground in various directions, and no one could hold him. Trasahasa kampasveda pulaka garjan ekabare sarva bhava dila darashan. All transformations of ecstatic love, like fear, laughter, shivering, perspiring, hairs standing on end, and thundering voice, simultaneously manifested in his body. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since the gravity and most exalted position of Srimati Radhika, who bewilders Krishna and who is the ultimate shelter of those who have taken refuge of the conjugal ras, are superior to all, the Anubhavs, Sattvic Bhavs, and Vyabhichari or Sanchari Bhavs simultaneously and fully manifest in her heart for the pleasure of Krishna's senses. Wow, this is deep. Therefore, it is not at all astonishing that these bhavs will simultaneously manifest in the heart of the Lord, who is absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radhika. And one important thing is in the Navadvip pastimes, Mahaprabhu experienced to the highest extent the moods of Srimati Radhika. It's not just that, oh, it's only in Jagannath Puri that he experienced all these bhavs of Srimati Radhika like that. No, in Navadvip, everything is there in the Navadvip pastimes to the fullest degree.
Yeah, Gurudev confirmed that
Yes.
to us in the Govardhan, in his temple.
I asked him.
Do you ask him, do you remember about Trini?
I said, what is the highest, do you remember my question? Anyway, he said that when he was just Nimai walking down the streets of Navadvip holding Gadādhara's hand, that was his highest ecstasy, that was the highest, and he was experiencing Madhya-khaṇḍa.
So
Jai, Gaur Gadādhar ki Jai.
So it's in Navadvip that, it's like Vrindavan, really, truly.
Yes, Navadvip pastimes, that's the highest.
Yeah.
Right.
Gaur Gadādhar, that's the ultimate goal. Apurva dekhiya sukhe gaye bhaktagan Ishvarer premavesha nahe sangvaran. On seeing this unique manifestation, the devotees sang in great joy. The loving sentiments of the Lord could not be checked. Sarva nisha jai jeno muhurte kaprai prabhate va katanchit prabhu bahya pai. The entire night passed like a moment. In the morning, the Lord seems to regain some external consciousness. That's the thing. Time in ecstasy and meeting is like a second, and every moment in separation is like eons. Time, yeah, that's the. E mata nija grihe Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata niravadi nishi disi koren kirtan. In this way, the son of Shachi regularly performed kirtan in his house throughout the day and night. Arambhila Mahaprabhu kirtana prakash shakal bhakter dukha hoy dekhi nash. Thus, the Supreme Lord inaugurated the performance of kirtan. As a result, all the devotees' distress was mitigated. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. The official beginning of the Sankirtan pastimes is right now. Hari Bola Boli Dake Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ghana Ghana pacifies Hoy Jagaran. As Śrī Caitanya loudly cried out, Hari Bol, the sleep of the atheist was repeatedly broken. Gaudiya Bhashya. The atheists who are averse to the service of Krishna are always awake for enjoying sense gratification, and they are asleep for the service of Krishna. Thus, they forget Krishna's service. It's like that Bhagavad Gita verse. Yet, because of Śacīnandan's loud chanting of the names of Hari, their sleeping in ignorance was broken, and their hearts, which were averse to the service of Hari, became aroused and startled. Nidra sukha bhange bahir mukha kruddha hoy, jai jeno mata icha boliya maroy. Keho bole e gular hoilo kibai, keho bole ratre nidra jaite na pai, keho bole goshai rushibe bodo dakhe, e gular sarvanash hoibe e pake, keho bole jnana yoga e diya vichar, parama uddhatta jeheno sabar vyabhar. When the happiness of their sleep was broken, the atheists became angry and blasphemed according to their desires for their own ruination. Someone said, "What madness has come upon them?" Someone else said, "We are unable to sleep at night." Someone said, "The Lord will become angry because of this loud noise, and that will result in their destruction." Another said, "Rather than cultivating knowledge, they are acting most arrogantly." Gaudiya Bhashya. See Adi-khaṇḍa chapter 7, verse 21, chapter 11, verses 53 to 57, chapter 16, verses 10 to 13, and 255 to 262, 269, and 270. Keho bole kiser kirtana ke bajane, eto paka kore e Śrīvāsa vamane. Someone said, "Who knows what kind of kirtan they are doing? That foolish Brahman Śrīvās is behind all this." That's interesting that Brahman is an insult. Brahman means dwarf, right? I'm just too curious to see about this word. One second. Why is the dictionary not opening? There. Okay. Brahman. I don't know that word. Lilliputian? Oh God, I've never seen that word before.
They're very small, the Lilliputian.
Lilliputian. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's from the Wizard of Oz.
No, it's not.
I know it's from before, sorry.
It's from a very famous book,
Okay.
but it's an English literature.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very old.
Anyways, they called the Śrīvāsa Vaman. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word paka means crooked or troublemaker. The word vamane means, without disrespect, a Brahman. Okay, never mind, I was wrong. But wait, where's the eta paka kore? Anyways, the second line of this verse means this Brahman Śrīvās is the root cause of all this conspiracy, intrigue, and evil design. Okay, so Vaman with disrespect means a Brahman. Okay. Magiya khaibar lagi mili chari bhai, Kṛṣṇa boli dako chhade jeno mahavai. In order to fill their bellies by begging, these four brothers loudly call out the name of Krishna as if they were afflicted by insanity. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Adi-khaṇḍa chapter 16, verses 12 to 13. The word mahavai means disease of insanity or nervous malady. Mone mone bolile ki punya nahi hoy, boro kori dakile ki punya upajai. Can they not achieve piety by chanting? Can they not achieve piety by chanting in their minds? Does chanting loudly bestow greater piety? See Adi-khaṇḍa chapter 16, verses 257, 269, and 270. Keho bole ore bhai, porilo pramar, Śrīvāser lagi hoilo, desher utsad. Someone else said, "Oh brothers, we are doomed. Because of Śrīvās, the entire country will be ruined." Gaudiya Bhashya. The word porilo means just arrived or just happened. The word pramad means danger or calamity. The word utsad means destruction or annihilation. Ajimui deoane shunilo shab kata rajar agai dui now aishid eta. Oops. Sorry, that should be on a different line. Let me reread that. Ajimui deoane shunilo sabkata rajar agai dui now aise eta. This morning I heard that on the king's order, 2 boats are on their way here. Gaudiya Bhashya. For the meaning of the word deowane, see Adi-khaṇḍa chapter 15, verse 25. Shuni leka nadiyar kirtan vishesh dhoriya nivare hoilo rajar adesh. The king has heard about the kirtan in Nadia. Therefore, he has ordered that they be arrested and brought before him. Kishore, remember how I was mentioning to you how, like, in Bengal, lots of times people just kind of, like, make up whatever things, and they just say it? Like,
I remember.
Here's some examples. Jete dike polaive Śrīvāsa pandita ama sabaloya sarvanasha upastita. Now, Śrīvās Pandit will slip off in some direction or other, leaving us to face certain ruin. Tokone bolino mui hoya mukar Śrīvāser ghara pheli gangar bhitor. I frankly told you before that we should throw Śrīvāsa's house. I frankly told you before that we should throw Śrīvāsa's house into the Ganga. I remember reading that. See Adi-khaṇḍa chapter 16, verse 13. They were saying that we should throw his house in the Ganga. Tokone na koile iha parihasa gyane sarvanasha hoi ebe dekho vidyamane. You took it as a joke and did not pay any attention. But now see how we will be destroyed. Sorry. Keho bole amra sabar kon dhai Śrīvāse bandhiya divo jeba asi chai. Someone else said, What does this have to do with us? We will bind Śrīvās and turn him over to whoever demands him. E mata kata hoilo nagare raja noka aise Vaishnava dhori bare. From town to town, the news was spread. The king's men are now coming to arrest the Vaishnavas. Vaishnava samaje shabe e katha shunila Govinda smarari shabe bhoy nibarila. When the Vaishnavas heard this news, oh, sorry. Let me just read this one translation. When the Vaishnavas heard this news, they all subdued their fears by remembering Govinda. Okay, what happened?
So we were at our place in Big Island, and we're having a program. It was breakfast for the Vaishnavas, and so I wasn't aware of it. So it's 3 stories. So in the deck of the house, all the devotees are gathered, and we're chanting, and it was super ecstatic. But a neighbor really, I was just thinking about neighbors, really got disturbed when it was 10 in the morning. So the police showed up. But it was like the police, so somebody, actually Suchandra, I don't know, Gorsundar's sister,
Yes.
saw them, and she went downstairs, talked to them, but they were so happy to be there because they were listening to the Maha Mantra. And they were like,
That's
wow, what is this? They were like astonished, like so we had
That's
to come,
great.
we're like, yeah, they were forced to come, but because of the neighbor complaining, but he worked
So
opposite.
really backfired on the neighbor, huh? Instead
Yes,
of
it did.
getting in trouble, you just made a happy policeman. Yeah. That's great. So when the Vaishnavas heard this news, they subdued all their fears by remembering Govinda. Jai koribe Krishna Chandra she satya hoy, she Prabhu thakite kon adha mere bhoy. Whatever Krishna Chandra ordains must take place. Why should one fear wicked persons when the Lord is? Why should one fear wicked persons when the Lord is there? Gaudiya Bhashya. When Lord Krishna Chandra is personally present as one's protector, then there is no reason to fear any threatening material element. In Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:2-33, the demigods headed by Brahma prayed to Lord Krishna as follows: Tata nate madhava tavaka kvachid prashyanti margat tvai baddha sohrida tvaya bhigupta vicharanti nirbhaya vinayaka ni kapamurdhasu prabhu. O Madhav, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord of the Goddess of Fortune. O Madhav, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord of the Goddess of Fortune. If devotees, completely in love with you, sometimes fall from the path of devotion, they do not fall like non-devotees, for you still protect them. Thus, they fearlessly traverse the heads of their opponents and continue to progress in devotional service. Ah, that's a beautiful verse. Anyways, never mind. Śrīvāsa pandita boro parama udar, je katha shune she pratyaya tahar. Śrīvās Pandit was most liberal. He had firm faith in whatever he heard. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since Śrīvās Pandit was very simple since he was a very simple and liberal devotee, he believed whatever anyone told him. He particularly had fear that in the jurisdiction of a king who was opposed to the Hindu religion, anything was possible. Javane Raja dekhi mane hoilo bhoy, janilen Gora Chandra bhakter hriday. Considering that the Yavanas were ruling the kingdom, he became fearful, and Gaurachandra knew the heart of his devotee. Prabhu avatirna nahi jane bhaktagan, janaite arambhila Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. The devotees did not know that the Lord had personally appeared. Therefore, the son of Shachi began to reveal himself. Nirbhaye Vedai Mahaprabhu Vishwambhar, Tribhuvane Advitiya Madana Sundar, Sarvange Lepia Achen, Sugandhi Chandan, Aruna Adhar Shobhe Kamala Nayan, Chanchara Chikura Shobhe Purna Chandra Mukh, Skandhe Upavita Shobhe Manohara Rup, Devya Vastra Paridhana Adhare Tambul, Kautuke Gelen Prabhu Bhagirati Kul. Mahaprabhu Vishwambar, who is incomparable throughout the three worlds and more attractive than Cupid, he fearlessly wandered about Navadvip. Fragrant sandalwood pulp was smeared over all over his body. His lotus eyes and crimson lips were enchanting. His curling hair adorned his face, which resembled the full moon. A Brahman thread enhanced the beauty of his shoulders and his exquisite form. He was dressed in fine cloth, and his lips were tinged with the color of beryl. He happily proceeded towards the bank of the Ganga. Gaudiya Bhashya. For a description of Gaura's form, one should see Adi-khaṇḍa chapter 8, verses 184 to 187, chapter 11, verses 3 to 4, and chapter 13, verses 61 to 65. Jate ka sukriti hoy dekhite harisha, jate ka pāṣaṇḍīs sab hoy vimarisha. On seeing him, all the pious persons became happy, and all the atheists became morose. Harisha and vimarisha. Eto bhoy shuniya o bhoy nahi pai, Rajar Kumar jeno nagare bedai. In spite of hearing the rumors, he is not at all frightened. He wanders about town like a prince. For the purport of the second line of this verse, see Adi-khaṇḍa chapter 6, verse 79. Ar jana bole bhai bujilaya thako, joto dekho ei shab polabar paka. Someone else said, "O brother, I have understood. Wait a while and you will see. This is all a cover for his escape." Gaudiya Bhashya. The word tako means stand, stop, halt, or wait a moment. The word paka means crooked, conspiracy, plan, device, intention, or desire. Nirbhaye chahen chari dikke vishvambhar, Gangar sundar, srota pulin sundar. Vishvambar fearlessly looked around and saw before him the beautiful flowing Ganga and its charming banks. Gabhi eka jutha dekhe puline te chare, hambarava kori aise jala khai bare. He saw nearby a herd of grazing cows who were lowing as they came to the bank of the river to drink water. Urdhva pucha kori keho chaturdike dhai, keho juje, keho shue, keho jal khai. Some of the cows raised their tails and ran about, and some of them fought each other. Some laid down, and some drank water. Dekhiya garjaye prabhu kore hunkar, muishe, muishe, bole bar bar. On seeing this, the Lord repeatedly thundered, I am he, muishe, muishe. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase muishe means I am that son of Nanda, the king of the cowherdmen. E mata dhaya gela Śrīvāsar ghare, ki koris Śrīvāsiya, boloye hunkare. In that mood, the Lord rushed to Śrīvāsa's house, where he loudly exclaimed, "O Śrīvās, what are you doing? Ki koris." Koris is the tui form, like how you, yeah. Nṛsiṁha pujaye Śrīnivāsa jai ghare, puna puna lathi mare, tahar duare. The Lord kicked again and again on the door of the room in which Śrīvāsa is worshipping Nṛsiṁhadeva. Kahare pujish korish kar dhyan, jahare pujish tare, dekh vidyaman. Who are you worshipping? Who are you meditating on? Look, he whom you are worshipping is standing before you. Dwalanta anala dekhe Śrīvāsa pandita, hoilo samadhi bhanga chahe chari bhita. Śrīvās Pandit saw a blazing fire, and his meditation was broken. He opened his eyes and looked around him. Dekhe birasane boshi ache vishvambar, chaturbhuja shanka chakra gada parmadhar. He saw Vishvambara standing like a hero and holding conch, disc, club, and lotus in his 4 hands. Gaudiya Bhashya. For an explanation of the word virasan, see Adi-khaṇḍa chapter 10, verse 12. Garjite achaye jeno matta singhasar, bama kokhe tali diya koroye hunkar. The Lord repeatedly roared like an intoxicated lion as he slapped the left side of his stomach. Dekhiya hoilo kampa Śrīvāsa sharire, stabda hoila Śrīvāsa kichui naspure. On seeing him, Śrīvās Pandit began to tremble and became completely speechless. Dakiya boloi Prabhu, Are Śrīvās, etodin na janis amar prakash. The Lord said, "O Śrīvās, all these days you did not know about my appearance? Tor ucha sankirtan nadar hunkare, chariya vaikunta ainu sarva porivare." By your loud chanting and Nada's roaring, that's Advaita Acharya, Nada's roaring, I left Vaikunta and came here with my associates. Gaudiya Bhashya. Srimad Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the editor of Sri Shajantoshani, has written in volume 7, part 11 as follows. Srimad Mahaprabhu often addressed Srila Advaita Prabhu as Nada. I have heard a number of meanings of the word Nada. Some Vaishnava scholar has said that the word Nada refers to Mahavishnu, because Nada, the total aggregate of all living entities, is situated within him. Is the word Nada a corruption of the word Nada? The people of Radhadesh often use da in place of ra. Is this the reason that the word Nada has been written as Nada? This meaning is often applicable. Interesting. The word Nada or Nada, is explained by Sridhar Swamipad in his Bhavarta Dipika commentary on Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10.14.14 as follows. The word Nada refers to the aggregate of living entities, and the word Ayan refers to the shelter. You are Narayan himself, because you are the supreme shelter of all embodied souls. You are Narayan because all the propensities of the living entity, all the propensities, Ayan, of the living entities, Nara, emanate from you. You are the supreme Narayan because you know, Ayan, all living entities, Nara. You are renowned as Narayan because you are the supreme shelter, you are the supreme Ayan of the water that emanates from Nara. In the Smritis, it is stated, all the truths born from Nara are known as Naran by learned scholars. Since the Supreme Lord is the shelter of this Naran, learned scholars glorify him as Narayan. Cool. In the Manu Samhita 110, it is stated, the waters are called Nara, for they emanate from the Supersoul, Nara. As they are his original resting place, his Ayan, he is named Narayan. Okay, so that's the meaning of Nada, when Mahaprabhu was calling Advaita Acharya Nada. Nishchinte achoho tumi more na janiya, Shantipure gelo nada amare ediya. You are living unconcerned without recognizing me, and Nada has avoided me by going to Shantipur. Seems like Mahaprabhu only refers to Advaita Acharya as Nada when he's in this mood of, being the Supreme Lord. I think. Sadhu udharimu dushta binashimu sab, tor kichu chintanai, por mor stav. I will deliver the saintly persons and destroy the miscreants. Do not worry. Offer prayers to me. Prabhure dekhiya preme kande Śrīvās, Guchilo antar bhai paya ashvas. Śrīvās cried out of love on seeing the Lord, and the fear in his heart was dispelled by the Lord's assurance. Harishe purnita hoilo sarva kalevar, dandaiya stuti kore judi dui kara. His hands. Śrīvāsa's entire body became filled with ecstasy, and he stood up with folded hands and began offering prayers to the Lord. Can imagine how, what? All this time, you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you've been like, Sahaje Pandita Boro Maha-bhāgavata, Agyapai Stuti Kore Jeno Abhimata. Śrīvās Pandit was a natural scholar and a Maha-bhāgavat. Having been ordered by the Lord, he offered heartfelt prayers. Bhagavate ache brahma mohapanodan. Shloka pori stuti koren pratama. He recited a verse. He first recited a verse from Śrīmad Bhagavatam that was spoken by Lord Brahma after his bewilderment. Oops, I wonder if... After Sri Krishna smashed the pride of Brahma, who stole the calves of Raj, Brahma came before Krishna and offered prayers as follows. How come it says Gaudiya Bhasha here? Maybe I messed something up. Anyways. No me date bravapushe taridambaraya kunjavatang sapari pichala sanmukhaya vanyasraje kavala vetra vishana venu lakshma shriye mridupade pashupangajaya. This is the prayer of Lord Brahma. My dear Lord, you are the only word. This is one of the main descriptions of Krishna's form, of his beauty in Śrīmad Bhagavatam. There's 3 main verses, remember that that's often quoted. So this is the first one. So it means, my dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, I offer my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. O son of the king of the cowherds, your transcendental body is dark blue like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant like lightning. And the beauty of your face is enhanced by your gunja earrings and the peacock feather on your head. Wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves, and equipped with a herding stick, a buffalo horn, and a flute, you stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand. For a description of Lord Brahma's bewilderment, one should see Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 14. Let's see. Okay, we'll read Śrīvās Pandit's prayers and how Mahaprabhu responds to Śrīvās tomorrow, because it just turned 8:30. Well, let's just read the translation for the next few verses. So Śrīvās Pandit says, I offer my respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of Vishvambar, whose bodily complexion is the color of a newly formed cloud, and who is dressed in yellow garments. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Shachi's son, whose head is decorated with strands of fresh gunja and a peacock feather. I offer my respectful obeisances at the feet of Gangadas Pandit's student, who wears a forest flower garland and holds yogurt rice in his hand. I offer my respectful obeisances at the feet of Jagannath Mishra's son, whose attractive form defeats the beauty of millions of moons. I offer my obeisances unto you, who are adorned with a horn, stick, and flute. You are that person who is addressed by the 4 Vedas as the son of Maharaj Nanda. I offer my obeisances unto you. Śrīvās Pandit offered the Lord prayers similar to those offered by Brahma. Whatever he spoke came from his lips spontaneously. You are Vishnu, you are Krishna, you are the Lord of sacrifice. The holy waters of the Ganga emanate from your lotus feet. You are the life and soul of Janaki, and you are Nṛsiṁhadeva. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and others are all servants of your lotus feet. You are the knower of Vedanta, and you are Narayan. It was you who deceived Bali as Vaman. You are Hayagriva, and you are the life and soul of the entire universe. You are the moon-like lord of Nilachal, and the cause of all causes. Who is not bewildered by your illusory energy? Even though Goddess Lakshmi lives with you, she does not know your glories. You bewilder even that lord who serves your companion, friend, and brother. So what to speak of others? He even bewilders Baladev, Sankarshan. You have thrown me into the illusion of household life. I've simply wasted my life without understanding you. You have deceived me through the various illusions. You have even carried my flower basket and dhoti. O Lord of my life, please listen. That does not make me fearful, for you have now appeared before my eyes. Today, all my miseries are vanquished. Today is the most auspicious day for me. Today, my life and activities have become successful. Today, all good fortune has awakened for me. Today, my forefathers have been delivered. Today, my home is truly blessed. Today, there is no limit to the good fortune of my eyes, for I am seeing he whose lotus feet are served by Rama, the goddess of fortune. While speaking in this way, Śrīvās Pandit became overwhelmed in ecstasy. He raised his arms, cried, and sighed deeply. The most fortunate Śrīnivās rolled on the ground after seeing that most wonderful manifestation of Śrī Gaurachandra. What wonderful happiness was felt in the body of Śrīvās! That best of the Brahmins merged in an ocean of bliss. The Lord smiled after hearing the prayers of Śrīvās. Being compassionate to Śrīvās, the Lord spoke to him. Bring your wife, children, and other members of your household, and let them see my form. In the company of your wife, worship my lotus feet, and ask for any benediction you desire. Being ordered by the Lord, Śrīvās Pandit immediately brought all his family members. Okay, well, so we're going to read about this tomorrow. Wow, what an exciting part of Caitanya-bhāgavata.
Cliffhanger.
Yes, this is a great cliffhanger. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Shri Nitai Gaur, Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari
Jai
Hari
Shri
Bol.
Satchidanand Gaur Hari Ki Jai.
Jai
You
Ho.
sure?
Jai Suprikar Shishi Guru Gauranga Kanhar Viga Giditari Radha Vinod Vihari Radha Nainath Radha Raman Vihari Radha Marva Shishi Radha Kunj Vihari Ju Ki Jai Sri Govind Gopinath Manan Mahan Ju Ki Jai Jai Natya Leela Pravishnam Vishnu Par Paramaham Sabri Vrachakshari Priya Stotrashta Shishaman Bhakti Vigan Bharati Goswami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai Natyalela Pravishnam Vishnu Par Paramaham Sabri Vrachakshari Priya Stotrashta Shishaman Bhakti Vigan Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Parit Pavan Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Natyalela Pravishnam Vishnu Par Stotrashta Shishaman Bhakti Balabhti Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnu Parasto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Baran Bam Gusmaraj Ki Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnu Parasto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Baran Trivikram Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnu Parasto Drashta Shishaman Gaurivanda Swami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnu Parasto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnu Parasto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnu Parasto Drashta Shishaman Bhaktivedanta Swami Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai नित्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपादस्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्ति द्वैतमार्ग स्वामी परम गुरु महाराज की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपादस्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव स्वामी महाराज परम गुरुदेव चारि केशरी की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपादस्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान जगद्गुरु शिवर्षभानाभि द्वैतरास शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। स्वापरिकार शील प्रभुपाद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार महापरम भगवत परवार परमहंस स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान गौर किशोर दास जी महाराज की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद सप्तम गोस्वामी स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद वैष्णव सर्वम अष्टोत्रस्त शिशुमान जगन्नाथ जी महाराज की जय। सूर्य कुंदवासी सिद्धर्शिल मधुसुंदास जी महाराज की जय। श्री उद्रदास उदनान दास की जय। गुरुविदान आचार्य शिशुमान बलदेव विभूषण प्रभु की जय। महामहोपत्याय रसिक शिरोमणि शिल विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जय। शील रसिकानंद मुरारी प्रभु की जय। श्री शील रामचंद्र कविराज की जय। श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जय। शील नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्राय की जय। श्री शील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। यशवतार हरिका विशल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री अष्ट कविराज बसुर जानव नित्यानंद तुरस गोपाल श्री चौषति महंत की जय। जय श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट राव रघुनाथ स्वर्ग गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर रयनमनंद लोकनाथ पुकर अरि गौर परिषाद वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री शैलेश्वर प्रिय समय पार की जय। श्री शैल मारविंद्र प्रिय समय पार की जय। श्री अंडरदीप मायपुर समदीप गोद्रमदीप मध्यदीप गोलदीप वृद्धदीप जानदीप मातर द्रुमादीप वृत्रदीप मात्मक श्री नावदीप धाम की जय। श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय। श्री गौरचंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गौर गदाधर की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ गोपी कपागो गिर गोपितान दुर्शद बनान माक श्री प्रजमंडल धाम की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंग सखियामन सखी तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। जय वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जय। बोलो श्री ललिता विशाखा चित्र चंपकलत तुंग विद्या इंदुलेख रंग देवी सुदेवी हरि सखी वृंद की जय। श्री आनंद प्रेम मंजलाल श्री रूप लवंग राग सुबनरति कस्तूरी कमल नयन मणि अरिमंजारी वृंद की जय। श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भागवती पूर्णमासी उमा देवी की जय। जय श्री कपीश्वर सरशेव महादेव की जय। राधा परन की तदाम श्री वृंदावन की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमार्ग की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय। श्री तत्व गोपीनाथ की जय। जय सर्वाभिकनामिनाशन करे भक्त विघ्नामिनाश श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। श्री प्रहलाद लक्ष्मी नृसिंह देव की जय। श्री चरिताम चरि संप्रदाय चरि आचार्य की जय। श्री मध्वार मनोज विष्णु स्वामी नम्रत्याचार्य आचार्य की जय। आकर मद्राशी चैतन्य मार की जय। श्री गौरीमार वृंद की जय। रंधरा श्रीमाद भगवदाम भगवद गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भगवत जैव धर्म अधि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन धर्म की जय। कलोकेर प्रेमदान श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन धर्म की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलेतर ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे महामंत्र की जय। श्री आनंद कुरी वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री समकट गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। पर ब्रह्मन परम सत्यम परमेश्वर पतित पावन प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम स्वयं भगवान जगन्नाथ मिश्र नंदन गौर सुंदर गदाधर प्राणनाथ श्री विश्वम्बर मिश्र निमाय पंडित श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य चंद्र महाप्रभु की जय। परमादयाल शिशुमान नित्यानंद राम महाजान की जय। श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। Sri Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Gauri Vashya ki jai. Shri Gaur Vishnu Priya ki jai. Jai Shri Gauranga Mahaprakash Leela ki jai. Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bo. Om Vrindayai Tulasi Deviyai Priyayai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatayai Namo Namaha Pancha Kalpatarubhashta Kripa Sindhu Vevasha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams, Niri Hari Prabhu and Pavatarani Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, and on YouTube and Facebook, Siddhartha, Rupa Manjari Didi, and Nitai, Raseshwari Mataji, Sudevi Didi, Vidyalalasa Didi, Ganga Mataji, and everybody. Harivo. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do we
Niri Hari
have time
Prabhu.
for a short little story?
Yes, yes, yes.
This remind me, of course, it's Lord Chaitanya and Śrīvās, and he's knocking at his door. It's me, don't you recognize me? So one day, it was noon time, and I'm in Gadādhara, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down and looking at the deities, I closed my eyes and start saying my anik. And then I hear this kind of laughter, and I open my eyes, Gurudev was there. And Brajanath leaned forward and says, that happened to me too. The object of your prayers is here in front. You don't need to continue. What's
Wow,
in my
when did this happen?
2000. It's right after. I think the construction of the temple was still going on.
Okay. Wow,
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
You open your eyes and Gurudev's just right in front of you, right when you're doing
Yeah, I see
Amazing.
his lotus feet. And then I didn't,
Wow.
I didn't know, like we're faced with that, our mind says, yeah, he's Gurudev, but we don't really recognize that he's Sri Guru, is the outer manifestation of Sri Krishna. And
Yes.
so Brajanath said, that happened to me too, that I heard laughter, they were all laughing, Tirtha Maharaj and Maharaj. They were laughing at him. Gurudev was standing right in front of him. It happened to me too.
That's so beautiful. What a sweet story.
My brother has a similar story. My brother, his name is Janak Maharaj. He said that he was in Badger that year. He was taking Diksha, and a devotee the other day was telling him Gurudev knows everything, and he was thinking, well, yeah, technically I understand that, but how do I understand that, like, practically?
Right, realizing.
Like he was thinking, like, sure, yes, but how does that actually work? And then the day of Diksha came, and he said everything was completely like just went wrong. The buzzer wasn't there to cut my hair, like just everything went and wrong at the wrong time. And so the day came to take Diksha, and my brother was saying, so, hey, I'll just sit in the back of the line. Gurudev doesn't know who I am. And like Gurudev came out, he looked at my brother dead in the eye and said, you, come here. And Gurudev called him all the way up to the front. Just lying. And my brother says, well, I guess Gurudev didn't know what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah. Prabhupada would do that to me all the time, and Gurudev. But something happened right now when you were reading this Madhya-khaṇḍa Prabhupada, that because that stayed with me. Yeah, I understood tattva, by tattva that yes, it's Gurudev is a Sri Guru and like that. And now all of a sudden that just kind of flashed in my mind, and I remember that occasion and how the mind, it was just like, I don't know, it's really amazing all the impressions that Sri Guru, Gurudev leaves in our hearts. And Prabhupada would do that to me too. When I got Diksha from him, and I got it in person, I was so nervous, he grabbed my hand and all that, because I was like, very young, Tatvika, he's Paramatma, he's Krishna himself, and, Achinta Veda Veda, all this stuff, but it's, and so I, right after that, I went to collect Bhiksha, and I got him a pot of honey and a blanket, a wool blanket. We were in Mexico, and so we went all the way to Guatemala and came back and brought him back. Anyhow, we come back, and the day of Prabhupada's leaving, he allowed me, I went into his quarters, and I'm sitting in front of him against the wall, and just being like a fly against it. Yes, better than cash. and I look in this debt on this, and Prabhupada's directing his secretary and directing, through security, his servant, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at him. I'm not saying anything, but when I look at the desk, I saw the pot of honey that I brought him, and I said, I was thinking, it would be so nice if he could taste it, if it can please him. I know that's just really good. It should be really good honey. And in the middle of this, Prabhupada looked at me and he said, honey, you cannot eat it for 1 year. It's got some toxins, so you have to wait for a year. And then he continued on to do, and I had brothers that too that had similar situations, So yeah, they know they had that power, It's like one and different at the same time. Śacīdevī,
Yes.
They're omniscient. They can read your mind. A lot of, anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't antaryami, then why would we even pray to them if they can't hear our prayers? Like, what's the point then, right? Of course they're antaryami. Otherwise, there's no point of making prayers if there's, they're not aware of what's in our heart and what we're praying. Yeah.
When I brought in the first 3 books, I told you this story probably before, but he read the titles perfectly in Spanish. And I was thinking, wow, Prabhupada speaks Spanish too. And he, and I was like, so, struck with wonder, but Prabhupada looked at me and said, and he quoted a verse, and he said, Krishna speaks even the birds' language.
This is so beautiful.
Love that pastime with the books, reading it in Castilian Spanish. I love that.
Yeah, he was like, oh my God, I wouldn't be no better present to bring him than books, his books. And that he put so much effort in, because he told this to my brother. He said, why are you distributing books? And my brother knew better to answer something. And Prabhupada said, you distributing wisdom, Krishna's wisdom. I haven't added anything to it. Prabhupada would say that. Neither subtract nor not add. And at one time too, he said, being a guru is very easy. He said, you just have to repeat exactly the same message of Lord Sri Krishna. And of course, the predecessor acharyas don't change anything, don't take anything out of it, and like that. But yeah, he when he had those books, he was like, I brought, candy canes or some favorite candy. His eyes went so big. He was like,
well, there's that famous story of Bhakti-san Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and our Srila Prabhupada, and Bhakti-san Saraswati Prabhupada was saying that we just acquired this new temple in Kolkata, but I'm upset because everyone is fighting over the rooms. So I'm not very happy with this temple. Now I'm thinking that I should sell this temple, and with the money, print books. And then he turned over to Srila Prabhupada and he said, I don't know how he addressed them, maybe Abai, or like Abai, If you get money, print books.
Yeah, the famous story. And he repeated that at their meeting at Radhakund. There was another time where he told him, he directed him to do so.
Jai Ho.
I hope I interrupted too much, but it's
No. This is no. This is really nice. All right, so we will complete chapter 2 tomorrow, and if anybody has something else that they'd like me to read tomorrow, because I think we only have like 2,500 words left, so we'll finish within less than an hour. And I don't want to start chapter 3 yet because now I've been putting, anyways, stupid reason, but I'm putting like a YouTube thing, like a thumbnail, and it's difficult to put chapter 2 and chapter 3. So I'm just gonna, we'll finish. We could either have a short reading tomorrow, or we could read something else, or do kirtan or whatever tomorrow. But tomorrow will be a short reading day. Yeah. So you can think of anything. If anybody has anything, you can send it over to me.
I love kirtan, but I don't know. You two are really good devotees too. They're very good.
Yeah, we could just do a bunch of kirtans to fill in the time. That's totally fine.
And,
I can do that.
and since you can pick something totally related to what we just read. I'm sure you know.
Yeah, Kishore is pretty well versed in the other related scriptures, right? Like, what is it?
Oh yes.
So
right.
if you have anything that you think would be good, you can share with me, or you could also read yourself. Like afterwards, you can read. If you have any books with you.
Sure.
If you find anything.
If I find anything, sure.
All right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow. Hari Bol.
Good Hari Bol.
Go